His consciousness turned back when he heard a disengaging metal noise. He felt he was lying in something like a canvas, and it was pulled up. It was a stretcher, and he was taken out from a car, which he recognized as an ambulance. He heard the sound of siren, the flashing of lights and the talking of people wearing white uniform. He felt twinge in the lower part of his tummy when a rubber rudder of the stretcher hit the ground. He closed his eyes in pain and recalled when someone shot him in his abdomen. Damn. Damn it. He yelled in his mind. He could have killed the person if only his friend gave him his gun and evaded being hit first. He felt the stretcher's wheel rolled. He knew he was brought in the hospital. The fluorescent lights covered by a plastic luminaire were switched on as he was rushed inside the operating room. Put the oxygen mask, an instruction he heard from someone. A woman distinguished as a nurse put the oxygen mask in his nose. He felt little relief as he breathed air coming from the oxygen tank. He was dazzled when a bright halogen lamp and a round reflector above him was turned on. Something like a rubber band was wrapped in his left arm, and he felt a needle pricked in his skin. He felt dizziness after a few minutes. Sort of unclear thoughts filled his mind afterward. He didn't know how long he was in the state of emptiness. But he could still feel the intense pain in his tummy, and he felt like he could no longer endure it. He bit his teeth in agony and cried aloud until he could hardly breathe and thought he was going to die. The pain was getting worse, but he was trying to survive from it. He fought hard. Until finally, he saw his body lying in a bed attached with flexible tubes and tiny wires connected to a medical equipment. The graph in the monitor showed no activity in his body, indicating that he is dead. But he didn't want to die. He looked around to call for a doctor, a nurse or any attendant to ask for help, but no one were around except patients like him lying in bed who were also attached with tubes and tiny wires connected to a medical equipment. "You died." A whisper he heard from someone. He turned his head and saw an old man wearing a patient's clothes. "I'm dead?" "Yeah, I noticed your body behaving indifferently a while ago, and you weren't able to fight for your life. You failed to survive," said the old man. He was about to ask another question when he noticed someone entered the room. It was a nurse holding a checklist. He called the nurse. "Hey. Over here. Look at my body, I'm dying." The old man laughed. "You son of a bitch, how could that damned nurse hear a damn dead man?" Truly, the nurse didn't look at him and instead continued its way to check other patients, beginning from the first row. "Shit." His outburst. Suddenly, he saw the nurse turned its head and took a look at his location. "Yeah, over here. Help me," he shouted. The nurse immediately went in his bed. What it really heard was the warning sound of the CPG, and this called its attention. It pressed the emergency button to call for assistance. "What's your name?" asked the old man. "Jeffrey," he answered while looking at what the nurse was doing. "They called this place the intensive care unit room. It's like a chamber of death where patients are unconsciously in the state of fighting for their life," the man explained. The doctor went inside the room. It immediately checked his heartbeat after taking a glance at the ECG. "Get the CPR," the doctor ordered. The nurse quickly went out of the room and returned with the CPR. It placed the two plates in his chest and pressed its button. He saw his chest pulled upward as if it was electrocuted. The graph in the ECG slightly formed a wave. He clenched his fist when he saw the graph moved. "Yes. Do it again. I must live." The old man laughed, "Still hoping for life, huh? Shut up," he shouted. The old man laughed louder. "You're dead, son." He grabbed the old man's collar. "Nah. Hey, don't get pissed off," the old man said. He slowly released the old man and turned to the nurse taking the CPR in his body. The graph in the ECG moved again as the nurse pressed a button. This time the size of the wave abruptly increased in an uneven manner. A smile formed in his face. "I'm getting alive." "You're a fool. No one in this chamber got his life back," the old man mocked. "I'm an exception to that, damn it. I'm not like you. You can go to hell alone. We will go to hell together, my son." He punched the old man's face with his fuming fist, once, twice, thrice, until he noticed the old man was not moving. "Are you done?" the old man asked. "Oh, shit," he cursed. The old man released its hand and hit his face. His head turned sideward as the fist landed in his cheek. "Did you feel the pain?" He didn't, and he was surprised. "You didn't feel anything, right? It's because you don't have flesh and blood. You're dead," the old man said. "Shut up," he shouted. He couldn't accept it. He must live. His wife would miss him. He would miss her too. He would also miss their children. His family needed him. "They won't be able to live without him, Lord, help me," he cried. His vital signs are getting better, he heard. The doctor's statement filled him with hope, and he prayed hard, asking God to give him another chance to live. The old man laughed at him. "Prayer won't help you. It's too late. You should have done that when you were still alive." He tried not to hear the old man's sarcastic words and continued praying hard to bring his life back to earth. "Lord, please." Suddenly, he heard a sound that continuously ringing at the same level of intensity. He got panicked and quickly opened his eyes to see what happened to his body. He saw the doctor removing his gloves while the nurses were covering his body with a blanket. "No," he cried. The old man laughed out loud. "See? Your prayer is useless. You won't live again. You're dead." He wasn't able to hold his temper again. He jumped at the old man and punched him with all his might. But the old man was just continuously laughing at him, that seemed unaffected by his punches. Until he got tired and gasping for breath. "Give him sedative," he heard the doctor's instruction. Then he felt something that pricked on his skin, in his upper arm. A soothing calmness took place afterward. He slowly opened his eyes, vague at first, and slowly getting clear. He gradually saw a smiling physician looking at him. "You're all right now." He looked around the room and noticed the nurses that he saw earlier. Tears came out from his eyes. "He's alive. Thank you, Lord," he uttered. After a few minutes, the nurse beside him unlocked the bed's wheel and started pushing his bed going outside the room. Upon passing at the door, he saw someone waving goodbye at him. He gazed at him steadily and recalled that it was the old man which was with him before. The old man formed his hand into a thumbs up. He knew that it meant his life was brought back in the chamber of death. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel, click like and the notification bell so you will be notified whenever I uploaded new videos. Thank you very much for watching.